I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark. Probably on the porch. Smokey, Steve, and Mark, welcome or welcome back, and happy Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. And I have a kitty. I don't know if you can see his tail. There's his tail. I have Oscar here. And he's a good boy. So good boys get kitty neck rubs. So that's how we roll. He might pop up here again. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Pasta two ways, because it's a carby kind of day. It was a good weekend. It was a full weekend. And looking forward to actually a light week coming. So, see some folks on their way in. Foxy, hello. Hello, hello, and happy Sunday. You can hear the cats screaming in the background. Bandit's kneading, and Oscar's not hungry, but he's needy right now. He needs pet. He needs talk to. And in the absence of that, they sing. So, hey Corey, how are you? So tonight's pasta two ways. We're going to be really easy breezy here. One of them's ramen. One of them's ramen. And the other one is pasta salad. So the pasta salad, before I dive in, was something Mark made. Now he made this, it'll be in a video, I think in a couple days, whenever he has his next video up. It's pasta salad with regular, like little pasta twirls, chicken, cheddar cheese, a little barbecue sauce that he made, some cucumber and red pepper, and it's very, very tasty. So I'm going to be nibbling on that as well. And we're out of soda, so I'm having Mio dyed blue. It's not as blue as this. This looks like I put the whole bottle in. It's not that much, but this is what we're having for now. Mark will probably go out during the course of the evening, so GW, hello. Shauna, hello. Kathy Ann, hello. Hello, everyone. So, happy Father's Day, by the way. Any fathers out there? Any dads of any sorts? Granddads and whatnot? Many, many thanks. There was a couple other things going on. I haven't tried the electrolyte one, Foxy. I'm sure it's pretty good. I'm a big fan of Mio. As far as water enhancers, they're my favorite. I think they're a lot of people's. So we're going to have some pasta. We're going to chit-chat. I did also want to weigh in on crickets. Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? There's barely any news. It's starting to... my prediction was that it was going to take a little while for this all to, kind of sort out with her, but it's taken longer. I'm doing okay, Lynn, thanks. Better than I've been. My appetite's a little bit better. I'm eating a little bit more. I'm waking up earlier and stayed like a little during the day, so I've been feeling a little bit better. My mood's been okay. The anxiety has not been less, but I've been sick less from it, which hopefully means treatment's working. But I'm this side of the dirt, and this side of the funny farm. So we'll call that a win for today, a victory. But yeah, where's Carmen Sandiego? I don't know. Someone saw, I think is the title of the video, I want to say it was Sansa, I don't know if that's right, about is Chantal just testing out the half-life of Girl World to see how long it does go before people start tanking their channels and losing money. I mean, there's people that, are there still channels now that talk about train wrecks from 20 years ago? Well, yeah, that has sentimental value. Besides, Chantal's nothing without those channels as much as they're not without her. In some sort, there's a relationship between the two. If either one of them disappeared, it would hurt the other. So, of all the things to be married to, financially, sheesh. But yeah, otherwise uneventful. We put out a video yesterday that mentioned some political stuff because I went to a protest and the feedback was great and it was not uniform, but it was still great. So thank you for everyone who watched yesterday's video. Not very common for us. Not many times am I going out to do that as an activity. So, but thanks for those of you who watched. The weather here today has been really nice. Little muggy, but otherwise not bad. Just tiny little bit muggy. Well, which means he'll be out in the dirt. There we go. Kathy Ann, I had seen her cameos were at like 30, then went to 24, then up to 100. And there was different ideas about why people did that. First, people were thinking, okay, she's desperate for money. So she's going to mark them up to 100. No one's going to pay that much. I wouldn't, for an hour with her, I wouldn't pay $100. But she's doing it for a couple reasons, because she is desperate for the money. Or on the other hand, she's trying to just discourage trolls from buying these things and using them to get back at her later, to hold on to them for later. So she's going to price it out of everybody's thing. She is the queen of cut my nose off, spite my face. So that's just how she goes. She doesn't care. And she pairs up with people that are the same way, so they both look like reckless and stupid. And that's her and a lot of her companions, not just one. Except BB. BB gets the most sympathetic character, I think, in most of Chantal's story. Hazy all week. Yeah, the wildfires. We've been faring okay. We haven't really had to deal with smoke from that. You can take our rain if you want. We haven't had a Saturday without rain in 11 weeks, I think. That's a long time. Yes, I saw that the cameo was turned off. So maybe she's also trying to keep a low profile. I don't know. I've heard so many mixed things. Is she in Kuwait? Is she in Canada? If she were in Canada, she'd be more smug than this. She doesn't have the patience, I think. I think it's a novel idea that she would wait out Girl World to see how quick it is for the community to leave. The second she came back, Girl World will come right back to life. So she can try to starve off while doing reactors for a while. But unless she's going to say, I'm going to throw away my career so that you guys won't get anything out of it. You know, I'll show you. I'll hurt me. I'll hurt me so bad that it ruins me. And maybe you. No. Hey, Andy, how are you? Kathy, hello. Tux, hello. But I think it's very much her nature to be like, fine, I'll destroy my life. I don't care. Do your worst. Bring it on. And she might have met her Kuwaiti match who happens to run an animal refuge. I think some of the postings that were coming out of Paws Kuwait are a little odd, a little passionate. But if you're talking about animal refuge, you get passionate people. She might have met another Chantal. Hey, it's a lid for every pot. And someone else who is prone to being, not just that she was upset because, for good reason, because Chantal took poor care of an animal in a bad situation, but just didn't like her because she didn't like her. And that's enough to take it to the next step. I imagine Chantal has ruined a few lives of women for the only reason being she thought she was cute. So, Shell Bell, what's up, what's up? You'll see, you can tell when Mark makes pasta salad, the chunks of cheese. This is huge. Beauty bite. It's giant. I'm thinking, well, it's not a mayonnaise-based dressing, so maybe it's a little better. Barbecue sauce is straight sugar, you know, with some other things in it. They aren't all. A lot of them, I know there's some vinegar-based ones and other ones, but the kind of sauce you would get up here, or the kind you'd even buy in a bottle, like Sweet Baby Ray's, tend to be on the sweeter side and on the thicker side. So it's a change. We don't have Southern in my family. We don't have smokers in the family, like wood smokers and hunters and people making meat. So it's always an adventure. I know, Orca, something doesn't make sense. And if it doesn't make sense, there's the whiff of a lie in there somewhere. Somebody's not telling the truth. Now, we know Chantal doesn't, so fair game. But, you know, who knows? I've heard that, and now everyone for a while loved there's one you can get at Walmart that Simply Sarah had turned me on to, which was really good. Because it had the Sweet Baby Ray's kind of vibe to it. But tasty. But I mean, this is so much. I was having rice porridge for like a few weeks, just very little. So to have something with some taste to it, and I'm sure it gives me a break to have something without carbonation in it, or aspartame, or any of the like. So, but yeah, all the stuff with Paws Kuwait sticks out to me as something doesn't make sense. Something's not right. Something's too over the top about it. Too out of, you know, you don't have to be, you know, if you're from a different country, you might miss some nuances, but unless you're from Mars, some of this stuff looks weird. So we'll see. And it's become a more volatile region very suddenly, very recently. And I don't know if her poor white woman on the tarmac thing is going to get her on a plane if she needs to go somewhere because she feels like she's not safe. Run to the embassy. I'm sure she's mapped it. Find the Canadian embassy in Kuwait. Beg them to let you come back. Diana's home to check out. We've had folks over the years send us seasonings, not sponsor stuff, just people who watch or who have like little homemade businesses send us seasonings and sauces, and pretty much all of them have been good. I can't think of one we got that wasn't. We had these dry rubs we were getting. I can't remember the individual's name, but all those products are on the shelf eye level because there's something we use. We got a taste for it and started using those flavors like all the time. Like that's how I started using like cumin on things like fish. So legal mindset's covering her tomorrow morning. Yeah. I'm out of my depth with a lot of this legal stuff. Like I can give you the common sense, what makes sense, what doesn't. But beyond that, like I don't know shit about F when it comes to most of that stuff. Soliciting donations abroad, status as a whatever. Chantal has already thought about ways to explain away everything that's suspect. What do you mean you weren't married? Well, we were married this way, but not that way. It was nobody's business, and it still isn't. If she's getting the warnings, she better get her ass out of there. And $100 cameo. I imagine it's a touch expensive to fly out on no notice from Kuwait to Montreal. I think the last one she did might have been Kuwait to Montreal. She didn't go right into Ottawa. She had to get a bus or an Uber or something. The questioning was, did anyone come pick her up at the airport? Tuxedo, I'm kind of with you on that. Like, we've seen everything leading up to this. So, you know. Yeah, there's legit, they're doing stuff different, but hey, Texas, how are you? Howdy, howdy. Howdy ho. So, but we'll see. But what I'm watching, as much as I'm watching her, I'm also watching the reaction kind of community, since Mark and I have taken a quarter step kind of away from it without doing the hardcore, all foodie, at least once a week videos, just kind of bringing her up in discussion, keeping track, but being a little more casual about it. And the channels that I used to like and that were about the size of ours is just huge, like huge. The channels I used to watch that were all about the same size. And the only ones I still like are the ones I pretty much always liked. So I don't know if they're legit. There's something's rotten in the state of Denmark, Kathy. I can't put my finger on it. I can't read the tea leaves, but you know, your gut just says something's not right about this. Something doesn't sit. Something doesn't make sense. And I'm wondering if she's trying to have her big Nikocado avocado reveal of, I've been fooling all of you for a year, and now I'm a skeleton. Like, I don't think that's going to happen. So, I don't see that. I think she would love to do And Baby Look at Me Now, or a full show the world, surprise everyone, and do a Houdini type thing. But even at the same time, if she did, she's still going to have to deal with people who are going to follow up on it and talk about it. You know, people like sometimes they're martini with a cigarette, and they don't like one without the other. So, you know, if she comes back, the channels will come back too. She's not going to be able to divorce herself from it. Half her content is complaining about reaction channels. She needs them too. So we'll see. Yeah, Foodie hasn't left the room very much to go anywhere except for food. So as far as differences, I think she thinks with pretty privilege she'll be able to say, "Oh, I didn't know the law, so I don't have to follow it." Yes, Lynn, she probably does eat more because of the stress. Yes, we are all uncultured, all disgusting, common, unwashed masses that we are. Unwashed. Just putting it out there. But she's functioned so poorly for the last couple of years, it would impact her ability to function in the West, too. There's I don't know. She's the most antisocial social media type person, one of that I follow. Like, actually, she hates the attention, always looking around in public to see if someone's looking, peeking like a crackhead when she's eating in the car. And yet she loves the attention, but only on her terms. So, which means a lot of people think this blackout isn't her terms and that this is out of her hands. And Chantal trusts no one, even attorneys. She would find an attorney that would tell her it was a good idea to get onto Twitter or somewhere and like run your mouth. She'd find someone, it's just like she finds a doctor who will agree with her, she'll find a lawyer who would agree with her. Hey, Mick. Not always, but it seems to be a good time. It would never be earlier than 4, I don't think, that we would sit down. And not after 6. I'd like my evenings to myself, especially before work. So, Canada has no place to video. She tried in the car, I know. I hear Lynn. She tried when she was there last time to do them in the car. Her family, who she was staying with, apparently had very strict boundaries about her filming there. Fair enough, because with very little evidence, people are snoopy and they don't like her. And so they tracked her mom down right to the door, had vehicles try to be towed, like things like that happen. People go real life with Chantal. So wherever she is, if you're within her wake, you're going to get pulled into it. And her family has had that happen and been on the radar more than a few times. And, you know, people in the audience would say, well, it's your fault. You drag them onto the internet. They wouldn't even be known to any of us if they weren't here. So it's your fault for having a channel. Well, I can see that. Because like anything else, they're props on her channel. They're not like, you know, they're not characters. Not so much. Except when was she trying to rewrite her channel as some sort of spoof? When she had the first strike, she had made up something else and was doing an office place type comedy channel. I don't know. I'm doing good, Mick. Appetite's okay. The appetite, the variety of foods I can eat is much better. I'm a little more brave with things that are like a little spicy, things that are a little bit salt, fat, and carbs were all that was going down well, and not a lot of it. We're being more brave this week. I'm about 2/3 through my whole cycle of vitamin D, which is thought to be tied into my mind and mood and the things going on. So, you know. I know. I've had the Mondays. Sometimes the Mondays turn into the Marches or the Julys. But I'm coming off of what is often for me, and wasn't this time, a rough time of year to keep it together. I had a few slips. I had a few, you know, missed an engagement here, missed another day of work than I would have preferred, that kind of thing. But there's been improvement since. So we'll take improvement. And it's not where I'd like it to be, but we're in motion. We're in motion, so it's okay. It's okay. I think everybody knows a Chantal or someone who's like Chantal. And what she does is bring back to you all the things that annoy you about that person. Chantal has a lot of unlikable characteristics all in one. She's very multifaceted. She's large. She contains multitudes. Is there a reason? I have bipolar disorder, Foxy, so sometimes, usually in like 3-month chunks, you know, it'll be just easier to do things or more difficult. It's not like I have to change up my job, but I find my job to be 3 times harder sometimes of the year than others. It's not because the duties change. It's not because leadership or management changes. There's no attitude, culture shift in the office. Just all the same tasks seem to feel like they're really difficult. Like, and it's not really imposter syndrome. I know I can do the job that I'm doing. I've been at the same place for like over 10 years. So, but yeah, spring is tough. Um, just to stay out of an institution, you know. It's an ego thing. I don't like going to the hospital. I would if I had to, but it's an ego thing. I don't want to go. Yeah, it just comes back around. Foxy. Like I said, we all got something. See, people with seasonal affective stuff might be thawing out a little bit now, but summer and spring is no guarantee that everything lifts, but it's a good start. So, you're making Boston cream bars? Hi. Hi. Miss Gigi, it's been 1,000 years. But I'm glad you were able to make it. Yeah, this is semi-new. We've only been doing this for maybe a month or two, where we're just chatting, eating, talking some BS. Foodie Beauty is certainly a topic, but she's not the only topic. So, yeah, the rain's been, it's every weekend. When you think I'm going to get out there and get some fresh air, rains. That's okay, Gigi. We're here now. At nighttime, it's good because it's like, ooh, nighttime rain, so it's pretty to go to sleep. But when I get up in the morning and it's raining, if I have anywhere to go, I don't like it. I don't like most people, it's not exciting to get up and throw clothes on, brush my teeth, run out the door in the rain. But so we'll see. I mean, I'll take it. Helps the grass grow as long as it doesn't become dangerous. I guess that's okay. Oh yeah, you are up in Edmonton. That's right. In the Great North. Hi, Irene. Pixie, hello. Hello, hello. See, now I'm not really hungry, but I'm not. I'm just kind of nibbling. So, super sensitive to the weather today. Yeah, Gigi, I hear you. It's I love people who allege that they are so resilient that then they're not taken off their square by such things as weather. I find it very, very funny. Oh, that's going to be a hot week. Mark is diving in and out of the garden. He had a rough weekend, couple days. So he wasn't up and moving as much. So he's feeling a little better, a little more mobile. And so he's outside, probably digging around. He has a product he's going to be reviewing that's like assistive to be able to garden if you need a little extra help. So he's working on a video for that. And the video he made with the other stuff, the pasta salad I'm eating now, he made for a video that was filmed like 3 days ago. So he'll be around. He's probably outside now. He said when the ground is wet, some of the work is easier to do in the garden. I don't know anything, you know me. So Eileen Riker. I haven't seen you in 1,000 years, Eileen. How are you doing? We're okay. We're here. We're kicking. Good, bad. We're kicking. We're here. Yeah, whether for arthritis, whether for mood, like all of that kind of stuff. I love resilient people. They're good examples. I don't get it exactly, but I'm on the side of I'm a bit resilient because I've had the shit kicked out of me by making poor decisions. So the resilience is more like scar tissue than anything else. It wasn't like right out of the womb I was built for contest, built for competition, built for success, no. I'm sure I came out peaking. I was a C-section. I'm sure I was very skittish. I know, Eileen. I haven't seen you in 1,000 years. I hope you're doing well. We're just eating and talking. Well, picking and talking. Cucumbers sound like a weird ingredient, but they really did make all the difference. Just crunchy little bits inside. It reminds me of if you get barbecue. So I know some places they'll put all that stuff on it, like pork barbecue and then coleslaw and then maybe pickles on that and other stuff too. I know. And people who compliment you on your resilience, you're so brave. I didn't know I had a choice. I have a choice about what to do with the fact that I've found myself. I mean, we all get the cards we're dealt, and we have a choice about what we do with them. But for years, I didn't do good with it. And I'd like to think in 10, 15 more years, I'll be even better at, coping with life so I can enjoy it at the same time. Yeah, she's not looking good. Irene, it's not looking good. And she never shuts up this long. Oh God, Mark's been terrible with the rheumatoid. Puffy, moody. Um, I get if you physically don't feel well, it weighs on you mentally, and then when you mentally don't feel well, it pulls on you physically. So he's in a rough spot. I don't envy him, but we're keeping an eye on him. Let him know his friends are thinking about him, and he'll be having a video up this week. So he'll be around. I don't mean to take a tone of like he's at death's door. He's just doing his thing, but let's just say he's not thriving at the moment. We'll say that. Totally, Texas, totally. Oh my god, Eileen, I know. And she's been so many different kinds of messes, and yet this is still somehow put a cherry on top. Deported. That wasn't on my ways Foodie will fuck up her life thing when I started doing reactions 6 years ago. I would have thought she would have been dead by now. The fact that she's abroad, wrapped up in sheets, afraid to go anywhere because of Middle Eastern conflict and her inability to finance her way back to Canada. This woman who was making 20 grand a month, throwing it in everyone's face, is now having to beg people to say hi for $100. And then that disappears because if she collects money abroad, can't she get jammed up again? I don't know how those things work. If the bank is here, but you earn the money there, and it's a web app that you're doing it, so there's no real location, I'm sure that's very interesting stuff to litigate. This I agree with. The backstory I think is good for people. To me, it feels old because I've been watching her friend talking about her for so long. But a lot of folks came in just within the last year or so, or the last couple of years. I'm a long-time viewer because I'm a long-time reviewer. So, none of this stuff. People who didn't know her before Kuwait, people who didn't remember when she was before, they didn't know Natter, they didn't know before Natter, they didn't know when she was still with BB, and how she's changed and yet not changed in so many ways. She could be in Kuwait. If she's frozen with fear, she might just be frozen in fear, board herself in, and wait till they drag her out. Thank you on the backdrop. It's a wink and a nudge to Milk Tea. I didn't realize how close, if not identical, it was to hers. Mark had got it, but he had done some decorating for the background too for a video he's got coming up. I want to say steampunk was the theme, something like that. So he'll be doing that. So this is whatever background is here is the background I get for when we sit down to eat. I'm not as particular about sets and props and stuff like that. So she's covered up. She's covered up. She's open, yeah, as far as vulgarity opening up, she realized that some of her ugly makes money. That either because they hate it or they love it, people will watch it. So she did what she needed to do. If I had no appreciable skills, no future, and no natural supports, I don't know what kind of choices I would make. I don't know. I wouldn't put my hope on doing cameos for $100. I mean, real celebrities, real D-list celebrities don't even charge that much. Like, I think you can get that girl who played Tracy Turnblad in the movie version of Hairspray. I think you can get her for like $45. Anybody who's been on that weight loss show that was on the Preview Guide channel, we're talking like Carney Wilson, the girl who played Marsha Brady, who else? Some other like celebrities in that kind of cut, like that, who they are, the name, and maybe they were someone, or they were never huge, but they were around for a while. She does, Foxy. She pushes all the support away from her attitude. It's the whole go away, come here thing, but it's done in her whole social circle. She's like, get away from me, stay away from me. And then everyone's like, fine, fuck you. And then everyone disappears. See, I knew you'd all abandon me. You told us to leave. Well, yeah, but if you loved me, you'd fight for me. I'd fight you for you. Nikki Blonsky, yeah. Voice of an Angel. She was good. I love Hairspray. They're having a production of Hairspray come through Scranton. They're having a few shows. Little Shop of Horror, Hairspray. Not the Technicolor Dreamcoat. Something else like that. There's a few that come through. And they're free local theater. with traveling companies, so it's a fun thing to have. There's a decent bit of culture in Scranton, considering it's Pennsylvania. So, Masonic Temple is just down the street. There's 2 universities, so there's a fair amount of artsy type stuff that comes through. But, God, that does go back. How far back do you guys go with Foodie? Mine is vegan, faking being vegan. I know, it's great. Faking being vegan was right where I fell in, and that would have been around 2018, I guess. 2017. Yeah, you're probably a little before me, I would say. Her faking vegan are only going to do vegan mukbangs. That was right when I entered. When I first started, I was looking at Amberlynn Reed too, but Amberlynn's exhausting. Absolutely exhausting. I have no interest in her freaking psychodrama. Eating A&W in the parking lot 3 a.m. Scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind. It's like memories, isn't it? It takes you way back. There were certain points where people jumped in. I know after the Cuba Bees, she gained a lot of people watching. Maybe not necessarily subscribed, but viewership went up. And then when she was initially, I mean, she was doing better as far as views and money when she was in what she alleged to be abusive relationship where she wasn't being treated well, allegedly, versus her handsomest man and happiest husband and all that bullshit. Well, that don't sell, apparently. So we're going to have to go back to tumultuous relationships and overeating. Because nothing else seems to be doing it. Nothing else is going to pay the bills. Last part. Yeah, married. I was at the very end of the BB days. Just when they had just broken up. She had her hysterectomy. That's it. That's when I remember coming in. It was right, not too long before she had her hysterectomy. They were talking about her losing weight for surgery. If that were real time today, it would be a much bigger video. But I remember that. Other side, you know what? It's all good. Just leave quietly. Yeah. Someone is going to have to be the fault for when she comes back. So we're going to hear all sorts of stuff about Sala. He never hit me, but he was abusive. Let's just say he abused me in any way possible. You mean physically? He never put a hand on me. Then how did you get bruised? I can't talk about it. You know, it takes away from the believability of victims of crimes when certain people who maybe have been the victim of the crime go back and forth with it. And I understand that's part of the nature of being the victim of a crime like that. But remember who chased who? He lived an hour away and didn't drive. So, Texas, I had no rights there. You guys weren't there. You've never left the block you were born on. I did Katimovic, and then I squatted in an apartment in the Middle East for 3 years. Yeah, she wanted to top from the bottom. She wanted to be in control, but she wanted to be controlled on her terms. She always wants the safety of taking a step back to say, look, kid, it's my money. And you'll either do what I say with the money or get lost. I'm sure Salva's fine. He just drives around all day selling perfume and collecting money, doesn't he? So his Jiminy Cricket looking ass is probably fine. Like I said, she on the other hand doesn't really have any appreciable skills. So she'll be in a tighter spot. You never want your name on government lists. You never want, if you have to get on a plane and have to fly, having the status of your citizenship wherever you're going to questioned. You want to have that part of your life tied up really well. Unless you're like someone like Salah who was in transition, fleeing, whatever, that's a bit different of a story. You land in a new country for a different reason. So, not her. She's been a 3-year squatting on a tourist visa for 3 years. Yeah, she is. Excel sheets to keep track of the super chats. Foxy, she's living this way because she thinks it hurts somebody else. I think. She will rationalize the crappiness of her life to say that it's still better than the crappiness of somebody else's life, necessarily. You're somebody's mother. How could you talk about this like that? Not too many people have fired back at Chantal and said, maybe it's God's will you're barren. No one's ever come back with her with the most vicious shit that she's come at people with, too. And that's just how she plays. She swings low, and when she goes low, people go lower. And then she gets upset that a situation she was instigating isn't going great. So, thank you, Texas. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the hug. Oh my God, Maria, it's been 1,000 years. How are you? This is like old home week. This is like old home week. Everybody's here. From like 1,000 years ago, everybody's here. It's great. Then good. It's glad to see you. Yeah, she is. As long as someone did something worse. So, but what she's trying to say is not that I'm blameless. Her argument is basically, I'm garbage too, or that I'm not the only person who's garbage, because a lot of other people do hurtful, damaging things too. That's the best defense she can give for her behavior. Sal is the one who's going to make bank after this. Remember, Natter had a nice little following right after their breakup. He had some money coming in and figured there were skeletons in the closet that he knew that he was willing to put out. I think she backed off of him after he dropped that picture of her kissing his feet. I think that put her back in a place of like, hey. Exactly, Foxy. Messy is the new black. She's still happily married, as far as we can tell. On paper, she's a happily married Muslim revert Canadian living in Kuwait. Some version of that always appears at the list. Oh God, Lynn, yeah. She had a picture from, and there was discussion. She said some really shameless things in videos with the hope that Natter was watching. She had some really graphic poetry that she had written, that she read to the group because she thought if he wouldn't answer her text or answer the phone, he must be watching the videos. And so every video during that period was like a dog whistle to him for something. Either I'm on my way, or I need something, or I take care of you, or don't get out of pocket, something in that vein. But that was the time when she did. But she was a train wreck. I mean, she was a straight up mess. And Chantal gets messy. Like you don't know mess like she knows mess. Yeah, cranky. Oh well. Oh well. I'd be a person who would say, go ahead, get married. A loveless marriage isn't whatever. You're not hurting anybody. Go do what you want. The fact that they would bring animals into it upsets me, because if you can't commit to each other, you're going to commit to something that needs you for like 13 years. If you don't intend on keeping a pet till it's dead, don't get it. Yes, the personality disorder. What is her personality? Cluster fuck? Is that the angle of it? Cuba streams, that was the times. That takes us back long ways. Sitting there, drunk, after she had bought the pool boy with a laptop. Like, want to be charitable, want to be influential. Yeah, she just wants to be those things, but she doesn't really put too much effort into doing any of those things. Like, even if she was a complete fuck up, if she was at least trying, like if she was making an effort to read the Quran, but was screwing it up every day, if she was gaining weight, but was like flabbergasted about leaving the house, like if she had some kind of understandable orientation towards her issues, I think people would be much more sympathetic. But she just quits things so quickly that, I would never either. Lynn would never come up. And he had a picture of it, and she was like, oh yeah, whatever. And he posted the picture. She shut up real quick. Because I'm sure she did a lot of stuff to get a man, to try to keep a man. It's very important to her that people perceive her to be in a good relationship. She really thinks it says something about her if she's in a relationship. And it says something to us or whoever, other people. And to her, it's a sort of a proof that she's still lovable. It's proof of lovability. It's proof of people will spend their time with me. It's got to feel kind of hollow when you have to pay the rent for your husband, quote unquote. Not everything that glitters is gold, necessarily. Not even the new Hyundai Santa Fe. Even that doesn't dry the tears. But she doesn't manipulate her. She doesn't want her partner to work. She doesn't want her partner to drive or get around or to be able to be independent of her. She needs to be able to, at her comfort, pull the reins to bring the person back into some level where they can be controlled. So. Desirability. She wants, yes. She wants other people to know that other people want her. I think she thought Sala was a catch because he was halfway handsome and looked a little bit younger than her. And so that was supposed to own everybody. I don't know. Scene of her on the couch all cornered, dainty reading the Quran. I know, it's bad acting. It's bad. But, like I said, I would take a lovable fuck up. So if she was trying to, fumble her way through, it would be different. But it's all lip service and it's all bullshit. So she had a lot of abusive qualities, and in her relationships with men, they come out. If you've ever been in an abusive relationship or you've been supporting someone who was, you'll see a lot of the markers from her. Not only as a person who she had to make a hard case for being abused, which is what it is, whatever. But you wouldn't have to make too hard of a case for her lying about being abused because honesty isn't her strong suit. So she's not going to own up to it. She's not going to be honest. Just not how she is. Yes. You're just jealous because I have a hot man and you have no man. Where's your man? Where's your man? I thought you said you had a man. Any man is not better than no man, but Chantal must come from that school. As long as there's someone there, we'd be jealous. As if he had all these qualities he doesn't have. So she lies to pretend that he has all these qualities he doesn't have. And when we find out later, it's like, well, he's nobody. At best, he would have been just a pretty face. At best, he would have been just a pretty face. But, hey, what do you do? Yes, we need to catch up, Maria. We'll bring Mark in. Oh, by the way, for anyone who's new, we do memberships now. It's a flat one. There's only one tier of it, and it's paid once a month. And the thing is, we have the tiered icons and the emojis where you can see how long someone's been a channel member. And Mark and I are also doing members only lives, and he'll be sitting in those. So I'm sure I'm insisting, in fact, that we do a members anybody open live with he and I, because he's half the channel and he should be here to talk with everybody. So given his own insecurities about that, we're going to try to get him in here for a chat with all of us. But until such time, we do have the members only sections where he and I will do. And we just, same thing. It was an hour of us just BSing. It was just in a smaller group. We have 30 plus members at the moment. So it's a nice little following. Got over 100 people here. It's a nice little crowd. Old faces, new faces. Gotta tell you, I didn't know if I'd still be doing YouTube in 2025 when I started making videos about weight loss in 2018. Lately, it's been really easy to keep up with her, though. All I have to do is type in her name, and first I get garlic bread, then I get French fried girl, then I get Charlie Gold gets mixed in sometimes, so I don't really watch her. I don't mind Charlie Gold. She's had some really poignant things that she said. Hello, Tater Tot. Welcome, welcome. She had some very poignant thoughts that she shared. People, I think, didn't take Charlie Gold too seriously originally because she seemed like she was doing the deal and Chantal wasn't. And the fitness community initially embraced her and Charlie Gold. And then Charlie Gold didn't really show off on camera. So Chantal insisted, you must be secretly fat. You must be fatter than me, blah, blah, blah. So Charlie Gold took some time off and she comes back and she's not as fat. Chantal took credit for it by saying, if you weren't trying to meet up to my standards and keep up with me, you wouldn't have been trying so hard. Yeah. Cuber just, I can't believe. Jamil, hello, hello. Doing well here. Aloha to you too. It was crazy. QB, and she's never watched it back. Her position is that she didn't watch it back. She doesn't want to take any. She has no conscience, but even she doesn't want to cringe at herself, I think, watching that. The drinking, the manipulation, the openness with which she will say, I will manipulate you and you will like it. I will treat you like shit. I will come back tomorrow and you will love the hell out of me. And she's right. She's, there's being persuasive, there's being entertaining, there's informing, and there's manipulating. There's a lot of different ways you can try to build your audience. And I wouldn't say she did it by being informative or funny. So I don't know I don't know. And the Beezers are actually out there now looking. You'll see people who really like her, because people do. I don't get it. But just, there's friends for everybody. There's actually people out there who like her just the way she is, just warts and all, smells and all. And they take her at that value. But even they are kind of like, could you put a heart on something? Like, could you let us know in some way, somewhere that you're alive? There's no obituaries. I'm sure people are starting to look there. So we'll see. I think it'll probably, unfortunately, end up being like almost nothing out of all of this. I mean, the most predictable thing is that nothing will happen to her because nothing does. So for that to happen, she made her way probably back to Canada, scot-free. Doesn't have to go back to Kuwait, which is a perfect reason to leave her husband and her cat. I'm not allowed to go back there. I can't because my husband misled me, and it's just as well because you should have heard the way he talked to me. You wish he'd talk to you some way. Locked in his bedroom playing video games? His bedroom playing video games? Those are cold. I mostly have just cucumbers left from my salad and a few little noodles. So this has gone down well, I have to say. So we'll see. We're still on Blackout. More compilations, more looks back, more retrospectives. It is a point. I think her thing was to try to starve out the community. And the thing that she's doing is actually people are getting to know each other across communities because now you have people from one reaction channel. Everyone has their favorites, 1, 2, 3, watching other ones because they might have information or a different perspective on it. And with the people running compilations and retrospectives, people who didn't know a lot about her or didn't know the backstory are getting it. So to that end, she's fucking herself really, really bad because she's giving time not for interest to wane, but for it to grow, actually. And her people who, they're going to make more money than her. They're always going to make, if she comes back with a big 65,000 view video, here's where I've been, what have I been doing, within a week, 20,000, 2 more weeks, 12,000, and it just wanes. And then what do we do now? Squat in another country for a few years to make content? Yeah, exactly. Everyone's making money right now but her. It's gotta be killing her. It's gotta be eating her alive. Because it doesn't mean that no reactor would be on YouTube, but if Chantal wasn't, there wouldn't be Foodie Beauty reaction channels, necessarily. You might have Amber, there'll be a vacuum when Chantal comes off YouTube. A big, sweaty vacuum. Something will have to fall into it to keep interest. So Amber's already got enough people. There's enough people that watch Amber and watch Chantal that you're not going to get any more crossover, I don't think. I think there's as much as there's going to be. I'd get tired too. The thing is, though, other people have been tired of her. And she's getting lonelier and lonelier and lonelier. Like when you tell me you're having the best years of your life, your social circle's never been smaller. I'm not talking away from family distance. I mean like muted conversations, that kind of stuff. But that's, you know, that's her journey. Wherever that takes her. But if history is any predictor of the future, she's going to completely get away scot-free with everything relating to this. She'll blame it on the Kuwaiti people. She'll blame it on him. She'll blame it on everybody. So, oh yeah, Pete's. For years I was said she could turn around tomorrow to Pete's and say, Pete's, it's been wrong. I've been wrong all along. It's you that I've wanted this whole time. He would turn toe in a heartbeat. I don't know if that's still the case, because I think he's watched her do to Salo the kind of things that she used to do to him. You know, the relationship is a little bit different than it is with Nader. Salo was a bit more of a pushover in the beginning, I think. So, we shall see. We shall see. I mean, you can't bring her back. So, we'll find out. Guess what? We can still hang out even if she doesn't have a channel anymore. Shh. I think Pete thinks that they're soulmates and he would take her back. Yeah. I think Pete would take her back, and he'd rather be treated like garbage than ignored. So, and of course, like, it's endearing, but I don't think she respects Pete at all, because she knows she can manipulate him like that. You know, you don't respect someone who you can take advantage of so easily, I don't think. Otherwise, you wouldn't do that to them. If she did respect him, she wouldn't push him this way and play the come here, go away. I need you, I don't need you. You're my hero. You're holding me back. You're a ball and chain. You're saving my life. Life by Jen went down at like 45. We're talking Chantal being just a few years out of that. So, how do you join, Steve? I pushed the join button, then I couldn't join. If you go into the description, there's a link to join, I believe, but then also I'm not sure because it's not on my interface over here. But it should give you the option join, and then I'd get an alert here if you were able to. If somebody has better directions than me, God willing, feel free to share those, because I just butchered them. Just butcher them. So, anything exciting going on? June, we're halfway through. It's going to be summer, the beginning of summer coming up real soon. So I'm looking forward to it. Anyone have anything exciting coming up? Hey, Cindy. Yeah, we're Eastern time. I should put EST. I forgot to put that on the time. I should remember. I think everyone who matters lives on the East Coast, or in East Coast time. That's when we see things here like in prime time, or like when the ball drops for midnight, that kind of thing. It's not, I was like, yeah, but it's still 9 in LA. Like, it's still pushed back hours other places, though. All right, ladies and gents, guys, gals, and non-binary pals, we are going to wrap up here. I have Mark outside. I need to go shake him out and see what he's doing. Guys, tonight was such a nice live. The food was good. The company was good. We got to talk Foodie Beauty as much as we could, because there's not much out there, so we just shared a few thoughts. Definitely thank you for coming around. Everybody have a great week. We'll be seeing you in the middle of it. It's okay. And thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Hit the thumbs up on your way out if you'd be so kind. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the usual suspects. You can join if you're interested. The link for it is down in the description for how to go through there. Thanks, and we'll catch up with you very soon. So take care, look after yourselves, God help us all, and we'll talk soon, okay? Bye.